All right, y'all. So let's talk about this. So after the Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman fight, we saw Jemell Charlo snapping on a reporter, content creator, whatever. I'm not sure who the person was that he snapped on, but I don't know if it was just for attention or if he really just got triggered or he was trying to draw more attention to himself, being that he hasn't fought in a while and he's trying to get back. Basically, Jemell Charlo said he's been trying to get fights, he's been calling everybody, and he says nobody's calling him back. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if certain people that, like the powers that be are trying to freeze them out, just trying to bypass him if the next generation of fighters come in. I don't know. I don't know if it's a personal thing with a lot of fighters have, I gotta say this, and I'm going to say it. I don't care who I offend. If I offend you, so what? Fuck you. Because here's a reality. I get really sick to my stomach when I see people every day, working what y'all call a regular job, a normal job, right? You go to the gas station and you see that there's trucks pulling up, loading these, unloading these products to these stores, and you see the FedEx guys, the UPS guys out here, delivering packages even when it's freaking snowing outside, the weather's bad. You're home, safe in your house. They're out there on the road delivering packages, right? School teachers, anybody who works a so-called regular job, and your job is considered regular due to your salary. It's not what you do, it's your salary, right? So even if you're living good, your bills are paid, but hey, you're not rich, then that's considered a regular job to people. Okay, cool. And I see people out here, single parents, both parents in the house, whatever, but I see them out here working, living life, and making things happen. Not hiding behind no fucking mental health issues and constantly bitching and complaining and crying. I see these multi-millionaires. If you pay attention, I see these multi-millionaires who's out here in a position to have already made big money, can make even way more money. And you hear them talk about how they're comfortable, they're rich, they got money, they ain't got to worry about nothing. But then they get to the point where they're turning fights down. I don't need him, he need me. Fuck him, he ain't gonna make no money off of me. I don't like this motherfucker. Everybody's emotional. If I don't like you, that give me more reason to break your jaw, break your ribs, and do some damage to your body. And that gives me more reason to knock you out, punish you. Now everybody got to be friends to have a fight. Now everybody has to like each other to have a fight. How often do you go to work and don't really say much or nothing to your coworkers, or they don't say nothing to you? You just come right. I mean, just saying, right? But how often does that happen? Here you guys are making millions of dollars. You have all this money, and you mean to tell me? Think about this. Think about that guy that make like $40,000 a year. I'm just picking a number, right? And say that guy is going to court for custody, child support, whatever it may be, going through all types of shit with the kid's mom and whatever, that the mother going through whatever, men and women just going through things, okay? And you don't see these people falling apart, crying, hiding behind mental health issues. Even though, don't get me wrong, a whole lot of people, rich or not rich, embrace that whole mental health issue nonsense. These are the people that just have shitty attitudes and they don't want to change anything about themselves. That's where you really hear that energy come from. Otherwise, you understand things happen in life. Things change. We are going to go through things, but we just have to, understand what happened. How did this happen? How do we avoid this again? Life lessons, and you go forward. All these boxers, man, that they get pissed off. They yell, they scream, they curse people out, and they act like the world is against them. But when you sit back, holding the title, holding the belt, or you don't even have a belt yet, but you're already making good money, and you act like you don't need opponents. Now, what happens when nobody wants to fight you, or nobody wants to involve you in a fight? They don't want to do business with you. I don't know what the story is of Jemell Charlo. I know him and his brother both, just every time you turn around, I used to say, they need to keep their business to themselves and stop all this going at each other online and making what they go through personal, making it with the fans, and like, these people don't care nothing about you. Anytime somebody sit there and take sides and talk trash about your other brother, that's still your brother. And all this nonsense, these fighters are getting more notoriety and more attention now based on what they do outside the ring than what they're doing in the ring. He talked about how he never lost his title and why he got stripped, and basically he got done dirty is what he's saying overall. And then he told the interview, he called him a clown or something or whatever, and talked to somebody else, yelled and screamed at him and whatever, and he just started talking about everything else. He says he can beat Fundora, he can beat this guy, that, or whatever. All right, but again, and when how old is Charlo? Was 36, 37? So again, here we go with people who are in a position of what you've done is what you've done. Now, Jemell looked good in his last fight. Both his last two comeback fights, he seemed like he still was sharp, still had it. You don't never know when Father Time has caught up with you. You know it in training. You would know it in training, really. But the fight itself, it's also possible to be in a training camp and people are gassing you up and they're telling you, you still got it, you still this, you still that, but everybody around you can see he's not the same. I don't know if this is the case with the Charlos, but the thing with Jemell is when he had his big step up fight, against Canelo. And I'm not. He already has some big fights, but I'm saying like the biggest fight of his career. Put it that way. And he goes up to this guy's weight class, and pretty much he got destroyed. Got beat up. It wasn't competitive. What he had wasn't enough. A lot of people didn't really care too much about the weight class, the weight jump. It's the fact that he just went in there and fought, and I'm not going to say he held back. I don't think he held back. I just felt like early in that fight, he felt Canelo's power, and I felt like in his mind, Canelo helped him make his mind up that, you can't beat me. Because he fought like he was just trying to keep Canelo off of him, but he was not really trying to really do anything to Canelo. Not really, I'm trying to win this fight. I'm trying to, take these rounds and win these rounds. It was just like, I'm just trying to keep Canelo off me. That's how he fought the whole fight. And I just felt like a lot of people just felt some type of way about it. Because Jemell, then he disappears. He doesn't fight for years. I don't know what it is, man. Him, his brother, Gary Russell, Keith Thurman, it's so many fighters, man, that just they do this. They don't fight, but they talk a lot of shit. And you gotta fight. And everything, mental health issues. I can remember Mauricio Sulman was talking about Jemell Charlo and how because he wanted to go to therapy and stuff, and he was telling him he's going through some things, and the only reason he didn't kill himself is because he had the belt. And that was Mauricio's excuse or whatever the fuck, all of sight. I mean, because let's just be real, y'all. I say this all the time. When you take a fighter right now who's 28, you go, oh, he's still young. But you know what people overlook? when we was watching these same fighters since they were 17, 18. And now they're in that position of, damn, he's 28 already, man. Before you know it, he's 32. Then he's 34. You like, where did the time go? And it feels like that with Anthony Joshua. I remember how everybody kept talking about him, Fury and Deontay, trying to decide who's the best out of the three and all the talking, who beat who. Then finally Fury and Wilder fight. We never get Wilder and AJ. We never get Fury and AJ. And now you look, Wilder's 40, Fury's, 37, 38? Something like that. Whatever. Anthony Joshua's 36? 36 or 37 or something like so. I mean, but they're right behind you. They all of that gone. Those years, like that. I remember the story like it was yesterday. Fury coming back, talking about the obesity situation and how, he struggled when he's 300-something pounds and all that. I remember all of this stuff. Klitschko and AJ having that firefight that they had, man. And I mean, everything. The Wilder, him and Fury getting into it, and then everything. And you look now like how the years just go. Every fighter, I feel like the younger you are, the dumber you are. Because I feel like the younger you are, you really think you got all the time in the world. You really think that time is going to stand still for you. And that moment that you feel like a king, that you feel like I'm on top of the world, right? I'm the shit. I'm the hot ticket. They're all eyes are on me. You think that it's going to always be like that. We've seen a lot of fighters fall from grace while they were still young. We've seen a lot of fighters peak while they're young, and then they just never got past you, and you're going, damn, imagine, he's only 25, he's only going to get better, and not realizing, nope, this is as good as this fighter's going to get. And I feel like they take it for granted, because when you get to a point in life, man, where all of a sudden people they don't want to call you back, they don't want to do business with you, and everything is unstable in the mind. I'm going through things, mental health issues, but I'm still champion. I'm still holding on to the belts. And listen, man, I always wanted to see the Charlos win. Even Jemell's voice sounds different. Like his speech, I don't know if he's starting to get slurred speech or I don't know what the fuck. He just sounds different. And I'm saying to myself, man, like I said, I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but when y'all out here turning money down and acting like y'all don't need anybody, everybody needs y'all. Times like this, when it happens, you can play victim and talk all of this shit, man, but for you to hold the belts as long as you did and wasn't defending them, you gotta be real. That's like, let's put the whole division on hold while I get my shit together. It doesn't work like that. It shouldn't work like that, but, and all y'all crying about mental health issues. Every time I tell her, Keyshawn Davis is a perfect example. Every time, every other interview, yo, mental health issues is real. Yo, mental health issues, you little rich ass, spoiled, ungrateful little motherfuckers don't understand anything, do you? If you switch spots with somebody working a regular job, you'd probably become a drug addict. You might even commit suicide. Because if you're facing mental health issues with all this money, see, one thing I know about rich folks, one thing I know about athletes, especially the ones that want to be celebrities so bad, they're the ones who want to be in the strip clubs. They want to be the ones fucking 20, 50 different women a week. They're the ones that they don't want to focus on the task at hand. And in this generation, fighters are more focused on antics and little sideshow stuff to try to get attention instead of going in the ring whooping ass like they're supposed to. I mean, what's the guy's name that beat Keyshawn Davis 4 times in the Olympics? I mean, in the amateurs. This motherfucker was cheering when he lost. Like, I ain't got to fight him. So it's like, I'm going to tell you, he beat me then, but he can't beat me now, right? So we're just going to go with that. That's not the way shit works, man. But that's what they want. So when these things are happening, people are calling them out. People are saying, hey, man, look, you guys need to fight and soon. Let's be real. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Shakur Stevenson, whoever, anybody, Richardson, Hitchens, or whatever, any of them. It does not matter who it is. Any one of you, Tank Davis, your time doesn't sit still. We watched, now the thing is, we watched Adrian Broner waste his career. And when Floyd and other people was trying to tell him, yo, Adrian, you need to slow down. You need to, hot-headed, everybody's jealous of him. Everybody's a hater. No, you can't give anybody advice now. It can be something as simple as, hey, listen, them dudes you're hanging out with, you better watch yourself, man. Because these dudes are always getting themselves in some shit. One by one, they end up dead or in jail. All of them. That whole crew. Oh, come on, man, you hating. Forget I said that. Go out there and do whatever you got to do. And then when the worst happened, everybody turned their backs on me. Don't nobody want to fuck with me now. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm a real one, yo. I'm a real. Yo, every time I hear somebody say that, every time, it makes me not even want to use that expression. What's real about being an asshole? What's real about being immature? What's real about being a grown man depending on other grown men to keep you out of trouble? What's real about a grown man taking all the money he got and blowing it in strip clubs and bullshit? What's real about being an alcoholic? What's real about calling yourself a fighter or being a half-ass fighter because nobody can tell you anything? What's real about that? It's real stupid. But I keep hearing these athletes. Every time you turn around, somebody's doing something to you. It's never you. You never do anything. You know, Adrian Broner went through all of that. I can remember making videos and people was coming in my comment section, yo, but Eric, you understand, man, he's young. This nigga 30 fucking years old at the time. The fuck you talking about? You gotta remember, he young. At 30 years old, he asking Al Heyman, yo, keep me busy, yo. When I'm in the gym, I don't get in trouble. Sound like a little kid talking to one of his uncles. Hey, uncle, come get me, cause when I'm with you, I don't get in trouble because, you know, when you pick me up, me and you do stuff together. But when I'm home, mommy and daddy at work all the time. And, you know, I find something stupid to do. I got too much free time on my head. That's what he sound like, a little kid. Everybody was making excuses. And I'm like, man, yeah, I can see y'all motherfuckers y'all ain't lived yet. Y'all go to work. Yeah, okay, whatever. Maybe pay rent or, you know, whatever, mortgage, whatever the fuck. Probably rent. And not looking down on you. And the reason I say that is because the less responsibilities you have, the less trials and tribulations you've had in this world, usually that's the ones that do the most talking like they know everything and don't know shit. And I'm like, yeah, y'all ain't been through shit yet. Or you're just as blind as Adrian. Because you see what he do, you hear what he say, but somehow you make excuses because maybe he reminds you of yourselves. And in terms of stupidity and doing dumb shit. And we watch these fighters go through all their money. One of the things I always thought about was this, right? What if fighter A, right here, made way more money? I mean, way more money than fighter B, right here. But somehow, in the long run, fighter B is living better than fighter A. Like, fighter B didn't think it was necessary to go and get a mansion and 20 cars and just blowing his money. He made smart investments, he saved money, and he basically, whatever his kids need, wants it, whatever they have, right? And I'm talking, he makes sure that financially they're good. You know, he makes smart investments, he's still making money, and he's not spending money foolishly. But fighter A is like, I got it all. And then all of a sudden, fighter A starts to lose. Start losing out on this money. One thing people got to understand is on your rise, there's always a bunch of people smiling at you. Yo, hugging you. And inside, they want to see you fall so bad. And anytime you get to that point, like where you're doing things and you're listening to people that just basically are a bunch of yes men, a lot of times most of the time you have people around you that's either stabbing you in the back or thinking of ways to do so. You know who and what I stay away from? I stay away from people that say shit like this. Yo, what you dealing with, Aries? What happened? Yo, man, fuck that. That's why I get high, my G. That's why I been fuck that shit, man. Yeah, man, I go smoke this weed, man. Sometimes take a bump, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, whatever. Yo, man, I'll go drink this, I'll go mix my shit, and I'll be. Nah, I don't need all that. That's not gonna make the problem go away. When you drunk, when you high, whatever, your mind is not on it. But the problem is still there. That helps nothing. You got to figure out how you gonna get through that. And how you gonna figure things out when you hang with people that do nothing but waste their life. Because everything that they think has some sort of solution is inside of a fucking split open blunt that's laced with some shit or in the fucking bottle. I stay away from people who assume the worst is always going to happen or want the worst to happen. Not because you're doing something to put yourself in that position, but because you have ambitions and goals and they don't. They're more concerned that if you get this or that, we probably ain't going to be around each other no more, whatever. And my whole thing is there's been plenty of times where people try to take you on a ride with them. But nah, they just want to reap the benefits. And we're all grown ass men and women. And what I'm saying is, no matter what's going on in this world, man, you got to stay strong and keep focused. Why you think you find situations? I swear every single day I get news notifications pop up on my phone, man. Every day somebody got murdered by their own family. Somebody got murdered by somebody they didn't know. Somebody got murdered, raped, attacked. I mean, just the worst things. And you see a whole lot of situations where a baby was found dead, a baby was left in some abandoned car, a mom lost her mind, got pissed off, shot all her kids, and then shot herself. A father did the same type of stuff. Just seen some other day. A woman asked her husband, could he please clean the house before they go on vacation so they can come back to a clean house, and he offed it. Bye. This every day I'm seeing this every day. So you it's always a reminder that you have people in this world that's really going through shit. And I don't know what these people have or don't have, but for the most part, the biggest complainers in the world are these rich people. I mean, you guys, I don't remember who was fighting, but I remember a fight was taking place. I know it was a Tank Davis fight. I don't remember who Tank was fighting though. And Gary Russell, that particular year, he started talking so much shit. And this is the year when he was talking about how he punched Terrence Crawford in the face and Crawford ain't do nothing and all this shit about he'd come up and fight the 147 and fight Crawford and he'd come up to fight all this stuff he was saying. And then I said, I remember, I never heard as many people talk about Gary Russell ever for anything he ever did in his whole career. Even getting beat by fucking Lomachenko, he didn't get talked about that much. Okay? He did all this talking, and then remember, you can even ask such and such was there. And then such and such spoke up and said Gary Russell was lying. And then he called them haters and this and that, and he said all of this little silly shit. And I'm like, he was always talking like, every time you ask Gary Russell about fighting somebody, man, them niggas don't want it, man. Man, yo, he can't fuck with me. Now you look, and it's the same thing. 37, 38 years old. These dudes get up there in age, and somehow everything about them, they have this delusion in their head that they're always going to be able to do the same thing. So for as long as they're alive, right? Or until when they say it's over. But he's a guy who was at one point the longest reigning champion in the sport, and hardly nobody even knew who he was. Barely ever talked about him. And when you see him fight and go, yo man, you got good skill. Yeah, what does it mean when you're not getting the fights? What does it mean when you do all this? You have all these skills, but you basically have done nothing with your career. It is what it is, man. Him and his brother, a lot of times, they're delusional as hell, man. They'll say something, and it's like, what the hell are they talking about? Before you know it, your career is over. And I'm going to tell you something, man. As much as that little pointed, weird-nosed Paulie Malignaggi, fuck him anyway, but he told Adrian Broner something one day. And he damn sure wasn't lying. He told him, he said, yo, man, take advantage of your career, because trust me, it don't last forever, man. You know, and Adrian Broner's facial expressions and his responses shows you, and I'm just being real, he's not an intelligent guy. Like, you can see he lacked common sense. Like, he really just don't have, like, he don't even understand the bare essentials about what he should be doing in life. Guy shows up doing interviews drunk out of his mind. Every time you see him, something's wrong with him. You know, he can't focus on boxing, and he'll tell you how many times, I'm focused, I'm back, I'm focused. You know what I'm saying? I'm focused with this boxing shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm back. I'm back. I'm about to shut all these motherfuckers down. He does all this talk. He comes back, has a lackluster performance. He came back time before last and fought a guy who wasn't even a full-time fighter. Came back and got beat up by this other comedian type boxing dude. Forget his damn name at the time right now. And every time you say something to these guys, anybody say something, right? Everybody's always hating. So, you know, now you look at these guys and you look at the amount of time that they've wasted, right? Think about it. Think about it. He's damn near 40 now, right? He's almost 40. Adrian's done. When I was telling y'all he was done, people was making excuses for him. I'm like, yo, y'all can say what y'all want about what y'all think about him, but dude is done. And, you know, it all showed. I seen it. Yeah, Blair Cobb was the guy that beat him. Yeah, I seen it. And I said, yeah, Adrian's done. He's not hungry. He's not serious. And he really doesn't understand what's supposed to be happening right now. And you can see that he didn't. I mean, y'all, think about this. Take Tank Davis, for example, right? There was a time him, Adrian Broner, the Charlos, you know, Errol Spence, all of them seemed like they was a tight-knit group, right? And then little by little, you start to see things fall apart where people who you thought were cool, they're really not cool. Or either they get in front of the cameras and pretend. And look at Tank. Tank is the youngest out of all of them. You know, younger than Errol Spence, who was around the same age as, you know, the Charlos, right? Right behind Crawford and them. Crawford's no longer here in the sport active, okay? And look at Tank, 30, and talking about retiring, then all of a sudden I'm back, then I'm retiring, then I'm... So all of these things, it's obvious that having money don't make you smarter, all right? And look, Terrence Crawford almost missed the boat as far as this big fight that he had with Canelo. Because Crawford had got to the point where Bob Arum was talking about, man, this guy can't sell and whatever, this, that. And I was saying a long time ago, man, Crawford need to promote his own shit. He need to, man, this is the era of social media. And people tell him, well, that's what you got to do, PR, fuck the PR. If your team is not pushing you properly, like if Turkey Ali Sheik didn't come along, you never would have had Crawford versus Canelo. And then people don't understand, he almost missed that. Let's say Canelo got injured or something. He couldn't fight. Let's just say he was stripped of all belts. And let's just say Caleb Plant had the belts. He could have fought anybody else and say if he still would have won, he still wouldn't have got the same publicity as he did for beating Canelo. He would have got credit for the accomplishment, but it's like, yeah, but you beat somebody that Canelo already beat. You know, it's like when Roy went up to heavyweight, he got credit for the accomplishment. But even during the fight, go back and watch the fight. Even during the fight, the commentators are telling you how much of a bum John Ruiz is. They're telling you, John Ruiz don't fight like a big man. He's too stupid to understand. This guy way smaller than me. You know, he's quicker, but I got reach, and I got to rough this dude up. And instead, he's trying to outbox him. Even his cornerman's telling him, don't try to outbox this guy. He's the fucking best at that shit, man. Yeah, you got to go in there and fight this dude like he's a little dude. You got to go in there. And I don't mean, when I say that, I don't mean reckless and stupid. Sometimes reckless and stupid might work with certain people. But no, I'm saying, come on, you're the bigger, stronger guy. You're here waiting for Roy. Yeah, man, look, this is boxing. So, yeah, Roy got credit for the accomplishment. But had he beat Lennox Lewis or somebody like that, you know, one of the Klitschko, yeah, now it's like, okay, he beat actually the very top guys in the division at the time with him. But no, that's not what happened. So if Crawford would have beat anybody, Benavidez was even gone. Okay, Benavidez was in the highway up at 175. But even, let's say, if he had to beat a Benavidez, let's just say, it wouldn't have been the same as beating Canelo. Unless Benavidez beat Canelo already. And even still, look at Bivol. Bivol beat Canelo, but people still try to make it seem like Canelo is a better fighter than Bivol. But they don't want to fight at 168 pounds either, right? Now Crawford's gone. Canelo is talking about the only way Crawford can get full credit, he has to fight me. Like, man, come on, man. And this is a guy that just don't want to let go of the fact that the reality is Crawford came and snatched everything away from him in one night. And regardless, no, you can't take away what a fighter has already done. No. But people remember the last things you started doing. And regardless to remembering a whole career and having access to knowing what this person did, which I really can give a fuck about all that. I'm just enjoying certain things, and then when that time comes and go, it comes and goes. Just like all of us is going to come and go. You understand what I'm saying? But this sport, man, it's way too many fighters sitting back trying to get Sugar Ray Leonard type recognition, Evander Holyfield, Oscar De La Hoya type recognition, Floyd Mayweather type recognition, but they don't want to put the work in. You got a guy like Richardson Hitchens sitting up here trying to talk like he can just pick and choose whatever fight he wants. Because, like all of these guys, like I said, the younger you are, the dumber you are, man. Because you think you got all the time in the world, and you don't. I feel like, man, fuck that. I'm really going to go all gas, no brakes in this type of situation, because what's the slowdown for? What's the whole point of I'm calling myself the champion? We have a top 10, top 15. And out of that top 15, there may be 3 or 4 guys that are really good. Why would I not want to beat those 3 or 4 guys? Now I go up in another weight class. Why would I not want to fight the top guys there? So now everybody, like back in the day, it wasn't no motherfucking, let's not make these fights happen. Nah, man, like people would criticize certain fighters for not fighting certain guys, and we don't always know why the fights that don't happen. But then when those fights happen, the guy that they were saying didn't want the fight ends up beating the shit out of the guy that they thought was going to win. And of course, there's always an excuse after that happens, But or there's times where you have no, where they will just give them their credit and they're shocked because they thought it was going to go a different way. But it's like now they got in the NBA this load management bullshit. Michael Jordan wasn't trying to sit out. Oh, I get to sit out and chill? Oh, nah. Scottie Pippen, them dudes, Clyde Drexler, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, them motherfuckers wasn't trying to sit out. Nowadays, this load management bullshit, everybody want to sit up and just chill and not play. Nah. Michael Jordan wasn't in no cryo chamber. He wasn't, they were just out there playing through the pain, playing in a physical league. I'm telling you, today's athletes, people just soft, man. It's not just boxing. It's what this generation produced. I see men walking around with yellow and pink Crocs on with stickers on them and little happy smiley faces and beads in their hair and bangs and shit. And this is today's men. Nah, they're not built for this kind of shit. But then they want to tell you that they're better than this one and that one. Right. Like, I don't care that Shakur Stevenson said that Ray Robinson is trash. That's his opinion, Personally, I think Ray Robinson would have beat the shit out of Shakur Stevenson, but, that's neither here nor there. And Ray Robinson, out of his own mouth, told you, I didn't like fighting. To me, this is all business. Like I told you guys, y'all remember I posted it. It's always business. Thing is, okay, you can be about business, and you should be, because this is a business. And most fighters ended up broke because they didn't understand the business side of things. But understanding the business side of things doesn't mean dodge, avoid, duck. No, it just means understanding how things work. So you can't be played, and you will get your money. Having a good attorney and everything, like the team that you need, so you can focus on your training, but always stay a step ahead of what's going on, so you should want. Larry Holmes taught you all that. In the NBA, Magic Johnson taught you all that. But, going forward, people just don't understand that. Being a businessman doesn't mean cherry picking. In this generation, it does. Everybody now want to choose who they want to fight. Oh, I don't need him. I don't need him. Oh, like when Tank Davis get mad when every time somebody talk about Shakur or Devin Haney, why you be bringing this up like, no, he ain't did nothing at the smaller weights, and y'all keep like. Why are you so mad? Because people want to see you fight this dude. They want to see you fight a Devin Haney. Why? And the crazy thing is, out of all of those guys, Devin Haney was the one chasing down contenders, trying to fight everybody, and y'all gave him nothing but hate because of that. But the ones that don't want to fight, that's the ones y'all want to put on these pedestals. I don't put you on anything. You earn the respect that you get. So I don't walk around here telling myself or telling you that can't nobody beat this guy. This guy's unbeatable. No, none of these motherfuckers are unbeatable. The reality is staying focused, staying hungry, staying true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just staying true, period. Definitely true to yourself, because once you start all this just chasing paper, man, it just gets to the point where you'll do anything for that money. There's different ways they use to soften you up. There's different things that happen. You get used to a certain lifestyle. You always heard people say, man, if I became a pro boxer, if I became an entertainer, singer, dancer, rapper, whatever the fuck, all my financial worries would be over, man. I'd be able to live my dream job and get paid doing it. And then the whole thing is, people go into this to get rich. They don't go into this just to fight. They go into this to get rich. And it's one thing for you to lose fights and don't make the money that you really wanted because you went losing big fights. But when you are so confident in yourself and you call yourself the best fighter in the world or one of the best fighters in the world or whatever the fuck, and it's funny because even when people say that the best fighter in the world, you don't even know who the best fighter in the world are. You just know who is who based on the fucking ranking systems of who we have in a sport. Other than that, whatever. Terminology is terminology, but reality, you calling yourself the best fighter, but you don't want to fight the best fighters. That makes no sense to me. So I don't know what kind of hole Jemell Charlo done dug himself into, but out of his own mouth, he said he been calling all these people and nobody want to fight him. Nobody called him back. Nobody don't want to, work with him. So that's pretty much what he's trying not to say. They don't want to work with him. And maybe he's worn out his welcome. Too many favors. Too many, I'm going through stuff. Mental health issues. Come on, man. Like I said, if these guys was to lose what they have, and they'd probably commit suicide. And isn't that exactly what Mauricio Suleiman told us that Jemell Charlo told him? The only reason that he hasn't done it yet is because he has the world title. Well, I'll say this. Favoritism isn't what makes a champion. But for all of the people that have excuses for not fighting and then act as if they were done dirty, and you're going to look at other fighters and say, this one did it, that one did it. Well, this is what I always say. You be the opposite. You be the change. You be the reason that the fans still want to watch boxing. But instead, I'm going to do like everybody else. And that's what it always is. Whoever has the best blueprint to a shortcut, that's what the other fighters want to mirror. And then throw it back at the fans when they complain. What about what such and such did it, right? Nah, and that's why I said, man. If I'm a heavyweight. You ain't gonna fucking show me no top 10, and I'm gonna see Anthony Joshua, Usyk, Wilder, Fury, all of them, and I'm not gonna come after them motherfuckers. AJ, listen. We interested in the fight. We gonna make an offer. You like the offer? Get back to us. Let's make this happen. Right? AJ liked that offer. I'm telling what we thinking, what we doing, and how the fight is to be built to where the fans are looking forward to the fight itself, regardless to who they're looking for as a winner. And I think fighters need to conduct themselves better. For one of the biggest, hypocrisies in boxing is for all the fighters that call other fighters bums, overrated, not on my level, they're trash, they're garbage. But then when somebody questions their resume and say who you fought, they name every fighter that they call trash, bum, garbage, not on their level. And to me, it's like they need to focus on making people. You know how, for example, when you watch a movie, the writers, okay, their job, one of their main MOs, okay, one of their main objectives is to get you to care about the characters in the movie. And this is why, even like, for example, if you watch a horror movie, right, you see the same patterns over and over. Everybody always want to see the one person survive. Then you got the dummy that, like, they go somewhere. Oh, look, come on, get off my case. I'm grown, all right? Can I just go for a walk or something stupid? Just go walking off nowhere. All of a sudden, the motherfucker hear noise. John, is that you? It's not funny, asshole. I'm not scared. Hey, John, I know it's you. Right? What is going through your mind? Kill him. Kill him. Right? Why? Just wait till it gets dark to just walk off into the woods. Right? You got the one that played too much, being a goofball. You know what I'm saying? But then it's always the one that's caring and want to see everybody okay and trying to keep everybody together, but everybody want to do their thing. Then you got the crew that's going, you always got the couple that's going to sneak off into the woods or somewhere, get their fuck on, and the dude is always pouncing or something, whatever, and the girl moaning, and all of a sudden, either he or she spot the killer first, and, here comes a machete through the throat or something, right? But you like all the dumb ones, you just kill them. Okay. So in boxing, if things were put together to where the fighters are shown in a respectable light, the sport itself is shown in a respectable light, it would change the way people look at this shit. Because right now, everybody care about is antics. So you see Keyshawn jump up the car, yo, Debo, where you at, Debo? LOL, yo, you need to do more of this, yo, this funny as hell, yo, I love Keyshawn, yo, I love this shit right here, yo, this is what you, right, antics, okay, no. You want to know what I like? Let's fight. You know what I like? Yo, the contract is signed, fight is on. March 21st. You understand? That's what I like. I don't care about all those antics. Antics, that doesn't make the fight. This is like a way of them showcasing themselves to try to get people to like them by making little skits and little stupid videos. And it's even less attractive when the truth is you basically were given offers and you don't want the fight, but you try to make it look like you do. What's entertaining about that? So, y'all know me, man. I'm different, and I don't. I'm a no nonsense type of person, and I don't vouch for dumb shit like that. Either you want the fight or you don't. It's as simple as that. So, once again, I don't know what type of hole Jemell Charlo dug for himself, but a lot of those fights why you think Deontay Wilder's still fighting? I bet you he wish he took that $120 million from the zone now, right? But this is what I'm telling you. These guys sit back, they make up in their mind, I don't need this, I don't need that, you're leaving money on the table. Just imagine this. You know how you'll play one of them video games where you're running and shit? And they got all these little rings and stuff, and you're building up points and money. Now just imagine, right? You're running, and you're going to spend like 98% of your running, you're going around the money. You're going around the rings. And then handing you, ping, I got another one. You know what? That's 10 million of them. If I don't need that. I'll grab another one for like 1,000. Just imagine, you look at the person going, you play this game so backwards. Why are you leaving all that money on the table? That's exactly what these guys are doing. They're playing games, and they're playing the wrong type of games. And they're leaving all this money on the table. And then when they get at the age where they should be retired now, going, damn, I'm good. Now I got that money stacked up. Plus I made investments. I did this. I'm living there. I got that going. I got income coming from here. Nah, so y'all businessmen, that's what you do. Apparently y'all being businessmen in y'all minds is just trying to be a fucking negotiator. That's all I see and hear. But yet, the fights that you know the fans want to see, let's stay away from those. And it's like it's deliberate. Because they know no matter what they say or do, and no matter what you say about them, no matter how much, even if you go from wanting to see them win to wanting to see them lose, you're gonna tune in and watch. You're gonna buy a ticket and you're gonna go to the arena. And that's what they count on. So I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like I said, this shit has become such a joke. And when you get to the point where you're sitting there, remember even like with what's his name? What's the dude's name? Even Jemell Charlo was doing that nonsense. The guy that all of a sudden now they're good friends all of a sudden. And he was talking about him and his bum ass father. They both just want a payday. I ain't helping them make no money, fuck them and all that. But you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. And he went up in Fort Benavidez and got knocked out. But all of this is what I'm saying. Y'all let money go by. That could have been Jemell Charlo knocking him out, getting that check that night. That could have been like every time I turn around and I see where a fighter don't want to fight somebody and they're leaving big money on the table because, hey, I already got money. But yet, you're claiming to be the best. That's what the best is supposed to do. You don't think you're the best because you assume it. Your resume shows. You putting in the work shows. That's what it should be. And you turn money down because for whatever the reason is. Y'all claim y'all not scared. Well, then show that then. Because I'm telling you right now, none of these fighters will ever be what they used to be. And the guy said, you think that you can go back to being the same Jemell Charlo at 154 that we've seen? What you talking about? I am him. I'm this and that. But he's acting, he's saying it as if the guy is being unreasonable with the question. Now, I don't know who the fuck it was. I don't know if the guy said something or offended him before or said something that I don't know and I really don't even care. But the truth of the matter is, if nobody is calling you back, and you're calling all these people trying to get a fight, that should tell you something about yourself. And all these fighters that I see sitting up here all cocky and arrogant right now, thinking that they don't need anybody, they can pick and choose, they got options, okay? Just wait until the day come that you don't have a title anymore. Wait till the day come that you're sitting up here going, damn, I need a big fight. I'm not good at commentary. The Charlos would never be good at commentary. Their speech is fucked up. Did nobody want to hear the motherfuckers talking for 12 rounds? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? So when you think about it, you're letting all this money go. Keith Thurman went from going, don't dunk me, thumb, to getting beat up by Fundora and then blaming the referee. You know? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. This is crazy. This is crazy. I mean, and unless injuries keep you out the ring, it makes no sense to me for you to be healthy. You still can go, but you're just holding out. Hell, Andre Ward did the same thing. He was gone for like 3 years. He came back as a light heavyweight. And I'm going to tell you, that light heavyweight Andre Ward wasn't the same as 160-pound Andre Ward. For damn sure. 168-pound winner, he wasn't the same. That was not the same Andre Ward. He was still good enough to, win and, stay undefeated. But that was not the same Andre Ward. And nowadays when a fighter loses one fucking fight, most of these fighters just disappear, man. It's like all of a sudden they go into hibernation because you lost one fucking fight, man. I mean, these dudes are soft. I say it, man. They're soft. And if things, they can't get things done with it they want, they fall apart. Everybody wanted to label Devin Haney as a shot fighter, but then he came back against Brian Norman Jr. and showed you, no, I'm not no fucking shot fighter. And I went up and I'm fighting one of the hardest punchers in the division, right? And a lot of people thought Devin Haney was going night-night. Devin Haney showed you, no, I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here. And he don't jump in front of cameras every week. His dad does the talking for him, but, y'all want to just hate on Devin Haney. But, I tell y'all what. Or should I say if a shift change happens in boxing where people stop watching and it's like a demand for everything to change for the better for the sport because nobody cares about what's happening, it would take something drastic, something to really threaten the security of the sport, for people to have a different mindset. And that would have to start from the powers that be, letting the fighters know, like, look, man, we need guys to be locked in, be ready and dedicated and focused. Because on their own accord, nah, these fighters are going to come in here with the load management mentality. Sit back and wait, chill, cherry pick, talk my shit, and then don't fight the best fighters. It is what it is. Boxing is trash, man. We see what happens if Jemell Charlo is done. Does he have another good fight left in him? And if so, does he become champion again? Does he get his belts back? That he's saying he never lost? We don't know. We'll see. That's all I got for you guys now. Catch you guys in the next video.